What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and welcome to another one of my Phasmophobia guides. This one is possibly going to be my most difficult one to film yet. So if you're seeing this, chances are we pulled it off. This is going to be all about evidence, how to gather evidence, what to use, and tips and tricks on doing so. So, without further ado, intro. That is right, boys and girls. We are going to go into Phasmophobia, and we are going to go into multiple solo hunts to attempt to find the best way to gather evidence in Phasmophobia. Little tips, little tricks on what it looks like while you're actually gathering that evidence. Basically, going to hopefully combine everything that's in the tutorial in one very easy to follow process. So, let's get into our first hunt, guys. Alright then, guys, so all of these hunts are going to be filmed on professional. Most of them are going to be done in houses, possibly high school, and if I cannot find a better map, then it's going to be asylum. Only for the reason is sometimes asylum solo just takes a little bit too long, right? So, what we are going to be doing is talking through the Emf Reader, the photo camera, the UV light, the video camera, the spirit box, and the thermometer, as well as the ghostwriting book. All of these are our main source of evidence finders, and I want to show you them in action, as well as tips and tricks on how to get them working out. But first and foremost, before we worry about any of that, it's going to be about finding the ghost room. So when we're finding the ghost room, ideally, we want to be using a thermometer if we can afford it. If not, using a K2 is a pretty decent way to sweep a room, as well as the spirit box. Look for rooms that doors are already open. Lights may have been turned on. Lights may have been turned off. Anything like that. Cups may be on the floor. Look for signs of activity first, and that's where we're going to set up. If you are lucky enough to have a thermometer, you're looking for 10 degrees or lower, and that will indicate that is the ghost room. Doesn't need to be freezing. Needs to be below 10, and that is going to be the ghost room. So, without further ado, let's go find a ghost room. Right, so, first things first, let's find that ghost room. There's a number of different equipment that we can use to do that. My normal starting equipment to go to is a strong flashlight, is a thermometer, and I like taking in a camera just in case we can get one of them early photo shoots on that ghost baby. Other ways of doing it instead of the camera would be take the video camera, set that up in there, or obviously taking a K2 to double back your evidence. So, let's get in there. As we approach in the house, guys, the second we get through the door, we are going to literally use our push to talk and ask for a sign. Is there anyone there? While doing that, we want to be really, really careful to look out for noises. Now, some of the buildings creak naturally. The asylum, when you first walk in there, creeps naturally. Bleasdale in the hallway creeps naturally. You will get used to these locations the more investigations that you do. So as we go into different rooms, again, we want to ask for a sign. Is there anyone there? Can you give us a sign? Now, in this particular room, I'm looking for anything that's been thrown, anything that may have been knocked down. We're going to move on. Keep it moving. We're not going to worry about the ghost name, guys. We do not need to use that to wind the ghost up early doors. Is there anyone there? Can you give us a sign? And using this thermometer, now, not all ghosts will make it drop to 10, but the large majority will. And when I say the large majority, we are talking 95% of the spirits that you investigate in this game will drop the temperature in their room down to 10 degrees, regardless of if it's a hallway ghost or not. Now, if you get 10 degrees in a hallway, you're dealing with a hallway ghost. And that's a very different kettle of fish. It's a very difficult spirit to find out. Is there anyone there? Can you give us a sign? And again, guys, I'm just going to stay still after every time I call that out, because I want to make sure I'm getting the right room. I want to be able to hear if anything gets knocked over, if anything falls down, anything like that, if a door is to open, if a door is to shut. All these different types of things I'm looking for. So we're not getting anything at the moment. Is there anyone there? Can you give us a sign? Right, so see this here, guys? We've just dropped to 10. And now if we go into this room, We're at 11. We're at 9. We have found the ghost room. Let's go about setting up. And just as we say that, the radio ticks in. That should be an interaction shot. Let's go back. Let's get some equipment. So now we've found the room. We know where to set up. Literally, this is half the battle, guys. So after you need to do that, you need to get every bit of your equipment in there. Or at least the ones that are going to help you find evidence, right? So it's a lot easier to do in part of a group than it is solo. So I'm going to go over all the equipment with how that looks in game right now. So now we know how to find the ghost room. Let's talk about that equipment, shall we? So first and foremost is going to be the EMF reader. The EMF reader starts off at green and it will go all the way up to red for level 5. Level 5 will normally indicate a strong ghost presence, but it will also indicate lower ghost presence after any ghost event. If you have an objective saying get EMF reader, it doesn't need to be an EMF level 5 ghost. Anything on the EMF will do, and that will be a level 1 or 2. So let's see the EMF in action. So with EMF, guys, we are looking for level 5, which is that red one there, when it comes to indicate what type of ghost it is. That is going to be our evidence. Get that level 5. It's absolutely beautiful. You will always get some sort of EMF reading from any ghost after a ghost event. So that will always trigger after a ghost event. It depends on the strength of the ghost or what type of ghost it is, if it will ever go up to 5. So there's only 3 ghosts, if I'm not mistaken, that will give out EMF level 5. And again, some of them can be very, very stubborn. If you are struggling with EMF level 5, then just go in there with that smudge stick, get that last bit of evidence. But the EMF can be one of those things that ramps up over time. It might go to 3, 5 minutes later it might go to 4, and then some ghosts will not give you EMF level 5 until after a hunt has been triggered. That's how crazy EMF can be. So it's always nice to get it double early. Next up is the spirit box, aka the Frank's box. Now, this will be placed into the ghost room. It can be on your person, and this is going to work through you. Remember, you're the biggest bit of equipment in this van, baby. It is all about you. We are going to be using the spirit box by right-clicking on it to turn it on. It will still work if we throw it on the floor or if we hold it in our hands. And then we're going to be using our push to talk or open mic to call out and ask for something to happen. Now, in the latest patch, in the beta, I don't know if it's come to the main game yet, the words will actually appear on what it's saying. Now, don't ask crazy questions. You're not going to have a full conversation with the ghost through this box, but you're going to answer very closed questions. Yes, no, adult, child, that type of thing. You know, are you here? Where are you? Show yourself. How old are you? All of those type of things are probably my go-to phrases when using a spirit box. So, let's see it in action. Are you here? So, another thing, guys and girls, is with the spirit box, there are a lot of different questions that you can ask it. Now, due to this latest patch, it will actually pop up where it is at this point in time as well, or what the ghost responds with. Try and ask very, very clear-cut questions. Where are you? How old are you? All those type of things. And a very, very nice tip that I like to use with the spirit box is asking either for a sign or asking for it to show us out its presence. That tends to ramp up the activity very, very nicely and is very handy to get them ghost pictures. Next up, we are going to be using both of these bits of equipment to find fingerprints. Say what, Shanks? Both? And no, I'm not talking about the glow stick, baby. We are going to be using the UV torch and the photo camera. One of the reasons why I start all my events with a photo camera is once I find the ghost room, I tend to turn the light on. Not because I'm scared of the dark. Well, maybe. Alright, but I'm waiting for the ghost to turn the light off. Once they do, I'm going to take a picture of it. Why am I going to do that? Well, worst case scenario, I'm going to get an interaction shot, which is money, baby. Best case scenario, I'm going to get a fingerprint shot, which is money, baby, and it's evidence. Now, if the ghost doesn't do that, we are going to be using this UV light on the light switches and the doors and the windows of the ghost room. They can be absolutely anywhere, guys. So let's see it in action. Right, guys, so fingerprints is another one of our pieces of evidence to use. We can find these 3 different ways. Yes, boys and girls, that is right. 3 different ways. One is with a UV torch. With the fingerprints, you want to make sure that you scan with the UV torch any door, light switch or window that the ghost is going to be close to. After that, you can also use a UV or a glow stick to detect footprints. Now, one of the ways to do this is, my personal favourite way, is to turn the light on inside the ghost room and wait for them to turn it off and then just snap a picture. Now, if you snap a picture of the light switch after an event, if it has got fingerprints, you will get a fingerprint shot. If it doesn't have fingerprints, you will get an interaction shot. Either which way, that is money in the bank, baby, and you are one step closer to working out what it is or what it isn't. Next up, we are going to be looking for ghost orbs. Now, to do that, we are going to be using the video camera that is part of our starter equipment, and then we are going to be bringing in 1 tripod. They're super cheap, guys, and they are so handy to use. They really are. What we're going to be doing is then looking on the monitor for like a speck of dust or like a glow fly flying across the screen. They may just be in the corner. They may be at the top. They may be only visible very, very, very briefly, but that's what we're going to be looking for. Setting up that camera, looking for a ghost orb. So, I think you've guessed it, right? Let's see it in action. So, in this particular hunt, with the video camera, we have set it up on a tripod in the corner of the room. As you can see, darting around on the left-hand side of the screen every now and again comes into effect this ghost orb, which is really, really good. That is going to be our first bit of evidence. Now, if this wasn't going to be the case, what I would then do is go back into the room while I bring in new equipment, drop that on the floor, and then move the camera to a different corner. Normally, I would face it back on the corner that it was facing. You'll also note that I've got different things down there as well. So I can already see on the ghostwriting book that I didn't even stay around for. I've dropped it on the floor and I've already got ghostwriting on there. But we're going to go into ghostwriting a little bit more later on. Next up is the ghostwriting book, aka automatic writing. We are going to be placing this down in the ghost room and basically waiting for the ghost to draw on it. Now, it may draw you some pretty symbols like pentagrams, upside down crosses, and all that type of random stuff. Or it may tell you to get out now, die, 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 can't run, leave or die. All these friendly, wholesome messages are going to be coming through using this little beauty. Now, there's some tips and tricks around this as well, but I'll show you in action while we go over those. So, as you can see here, we have ghostwriting in the book. Now, it's drawn pentagrams and an upside down cross. Lovely of the jubblies. Now, unfortunately, there is no way at this point in time to guarantee to get ghostwriting. There is no voice command. There is no action to be able to guarantee ghostwriting. It will work if it's in your hand. It'll work if it's on the floor. It'll work if it's on a table. It'll work if it's upside down. The book doesn't need to be facing the right way or anything like that. But unfortunately, there's not a write in the book command or anything like that. Now, if you are struggling with ghostwriting, what I would remind you is or recommend is to put the book in the room. If it's still not particularly going there, but you think you're going to be getting ghostwriting, go in there with a smudge stick and a lighter. Smudge the room. First things first, that's going to stop the hunt for 90 seconds, 180 seconds if it's a spirit. And it's going to increase activity in that room. And that, to me, is the real creme de la creme of getting that really hard to find evidence. Maybe the ghostwriting or maybe EMF level 5, something like that. Now, the last bit of equipment that we're going to be using for freezing temperatures is the thermometer. But there is another way to detect freezing temperatures. And again, that's using you and your brains. Look out for your own breath, guys. If it drops below freezing, you will start seeing your own breath when you're walking down there. If you're in a team, it's a lot easier to spot as well. It's like a choo-choo steam engine Thomas train moving down the tracks. Choo-choo, Thomas. Other than that, we're going to be using the thermometer. It's not part of the starter kit. It costs $30. It is literally, in my opinion, the strongest item in this game. right? It's going to help you find the ghost room, which we've already seen, and it's going to help detect those freezing temperatures. Now, massive, massive tip here, guys. It does not need to go below 0 for freezing temperatures. No, 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 no. 2 degrees or lower is freezing temperatures. Keep that in mind, guys. So, let's see it in action. So, with freezing temperatures, guys and girls, there are 2 ways of doing it. One, your trusty thermometer. In my opinion, the best bit of equipment that you can buy in this game for 30 bucks. It will save you a bundle of time. The other one is, as you can see here, my breath is actually freezing. Now, little tips and tricks behind this is you do not need to wait for it to go to minus for it to be freezing temperatures. If it stops at 2 and below, 2 and below is actually considered as freezing temperatures, so therefore you've got that bit of evidence. If you don't have a thermometer, you do need to wait for it to go freezing, and you do really need to pay very close attention to your breath. So there we have it, boys and girls. That is my ultimate guide to gathering evidence in Phasmophobia. Now, I know I've covered some of the points, multiple in some of these segments, but they are very, very important, guys and girls. On the flip side as well, this video was actually filmed over a period of a couple of days. As you can see, I've actually got up about 30 levels while doing this. So, it's been a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. I hope it's helped. If it has, I think I'm going to go on a hazard and say this has been one of my longest YouTube videos in terms of cuts and edits and things like that. So if it's worked, guys, if you have found it helpful, do me a massive favour. Smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. My live stream links are down below as well, guys. I do stream on Twitch Monday to Friday throughout the day, and I will be happy to run with absolutely all of you if you guys fancy jumping in some ghost hunts. I've also got a Discord down below, and again, we've got a Phasmophobia section in the Discord with loads of helpful maps, loads of different things, and also other people looking for games as well. It's quite quiet on the Phasmo front at the moment, but hopefully with your help we can get that Discord rocking. So that is it for me, guys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed the video and all that type of good stuff. Discord links, live stream links, yada yada yada. But until next time, ghost hunters, be smart, be strong, be safe, and I'll see you on the flip side. You take it easy.